What's up guys, it's Matty and hopefully you're having an amazing day. Today we're going to dive into a market update that honestly feels a little bit different to the ones we've been doing over the past couple of weeks. Because for the first time in a while, we're starting to see something really encouraging. Bitcoin is showing signs of flattening and early upside, and XRP is holding like a machine. And the fear and greed index is literally sitting at 9, which is extreme fear. And you already know what that means. When crypto hits extreme fear, that's where opportunity begins. We're not just talking numbers today. I'm going to walk you through what this market behavior actually means, why extreme fear is historically the smartest time to buy, what I did this morning with my own Bitcoin and XRP, and why having a strategy, an actual structured plan changes everything. Plus, I want to give a shout out to the Crypto Wolfpack because honestly, the discussions in the community over the last few days have been some of the best I've seen since the group has even opened. And I'm also going to remind you about something a lot of people in crypto desperately need right now. So grab a drink, sit back, relax, and let's jump straight into the charts.
I am not a financial advisor. This video is based solely on my opinion on what I'm personally doing in this market. I also want to let you know that some of the links below and in the descriptions are affiliate links, meaning I may get a commission, but it will be at no extra cost to you. Please remember that under no circumstances will I ever contact you and ask you for investments. You can confirm all of my real social media handles in the description and also at milkshakematty.com. This content is for educational and entertainment only, and I'm not a financial advisor.
If you're wondering why I'm wearing a Christmas jumper and it's only November, it's because my Christmas jumper arrived today and it's this. All I want for Christmas is XRP. If you want one of these, there's a link in the description. So let's start with the big boy, Bitcoin. As I film in this video, Bitcoin is now sitting at $96,300. And what's interesting isn't just the number itself, it's the behavior of the number. Because the last few days, Bitcoin hasn't just been falling, it hasn't been crashing, and it hasn't been the bloodbath material that people thought it would. Instead, what we're seeing is something very different. A slowdown in the downtrend pressure. There's been flattening of the candles and lower volatility. And now, the first signs of a bounce. And if you're someone who pays attention to the market structure, you already know what that represents. Early accumulation. This is exactly how bottoms form. Panic selling, price slows down, we get sideways movement, early buyers step in, we get the first push up, then sentiment slowly starts to shift. That's what we're starting to see right now. And no, I'm not saying this is the bottom. Nobody can ever say that with complete confidence. But I am saying that Bitcoin's behavior here is extremely typical of a market that has exhausted sellers, absorbed fear, and is beginning the transition to the next phase. This is why experienced traders don't panic sell during fear. They observe, they accumulate, and they wait. And what's happening right now? We're seeing the rewards of that behavior. Now let's talk about XRP because honestly, this thing has been rock solid through all of this. XRP is currently sitting around $2.25, and here's the part that stands out for me. It held its position fantastically during one of the most fear-driven weeks of the year. While the rest of the market was wobbling, XRP didn't break its structure. It didn't fall apart. It didn't lose that major support. It stayed solid, and now it's moving back up with confidence. This is what strong fundamentals and investor conviction look like in real time. In fact, inside the Wolfpack, people were literally posting charts showing how XRP was outperforming most of the top 20 during this pullback. The resilience has been unreal in my opinion, and that tells us something important. There is real confidence behind XRP right now. It's not retail hype. It's not meme coin mania. It's structured investors, steady hands, and people buying the dip with intention. That's the kind of behavior that creates sustainable growth. So seeing XRP now back at around 225 in extreme fear conditions is honestly fantastic. If you've watched my previous videos, I've shown you what kind of figures XRP dropped to during extreme fear in the past, and it's been bad. All right, now we get to the part that matters the most for strategy. The fear and greed index is currently sitting at 9, which is extreme fear. Let me tell you something that 99% of people either don't know or ignore. Extreme fear doesn't last long. Every time it appears, opportunities are everywhere. It's almost a cheat code if you understand it. Because the fear and greed index doesn't measure price movement, it measures emotion. And emotion always leads price. Emotion always comes before behavior, and behavior always comes before price action. When the index hits extreme fear, this is what happens every single time. Retail panic, social media doom posts, people talking about the end, people saying they want to get out of crypto. Whales start buying it cheap. Smart money start accumulating and markets start stabilizing. Then sentiment is shifting, price is recovering. This pattern has repeated since Bitcoin's birth. And yet, retail, like me and you, keep making the same mistakes. They buy during extreme greed and they sell during extreme fear. The exact opposite of what works. So what does extreme fear actually mean in practice? It means three things. The first is buyers have backed off temporarily. This creates a price suppression which creates discounts for you if you want them. Sellers are then emotionally exhausted. People only panic sell for so long. Once the fear burns itself out, the selling slows down. And three is markets start bottoming quietly, not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, sideways, small green candles, calm volatility. This is exactly the behavior we're seeing today. Bitcoin stabilizing, XRP is pushing up, sentiment is starting to shift. These are the early indicators of a potential reversal. You never catch the exact bottom, nobody does, but you can catch the zone. And extreme fear is the zone. So let's talk about what I personally did this morning. I added to my Bitcoin position, I added to my XRP position, and I added earlier this week too. Why? Because I have a strategy, and my strategy is simple. I buy during extreme fear and I sell during extreme greed. Not sometimes, not when I feel like it, not when I'm excited, not even when I'm scared. I follow the strategy every single time. That's why a pullback doesn't stress me out. That's why fear doesn't move me, because I'm not reacting to emotions. I'm reacting to data and behavior. And extreme fear, the data is screaming. This is where opportunity is hiding. If you look back at every major crypto dip, 2017, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and now 2025, every single one of them had extreme fear markers at the strongest buying zones of the entire cycle. History doesn't repeat, but it always rhymes. Here's something that I've learned over the years of being in the markets. You don't need to be smarter than everybody else. You don't need fancy indicators, although some of them really help. You just need a strategy and you need to stick to it. The reason most people fail in crypto is simple. They have no plan. They react. They chase green candles. They panic during red candles. They trade based on emotion instead of structure. That's why they lose. If you have a strategy that tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to wait, when to add, and when to take profit, suddenly the market becomes a lot more simple. Not easy, but simpler. Extreme fear is one of the clearest signals we have, not to completely load the boat, but to start accumulating intelligently. Small buys, gradual entries, dollar cost averaging into that fear, and selling when the world becomes euphoric. That is a winning formula. Now, before we go deeper, I want to take a moment to give a big shout out to the Crypto Wolfpack. Over the last few days, honestly, the analysis, the trade wins, the conversations, the support for each other, it's been next level. People posting their entries, people helping each other manage fear, and people applying strategy instead of emotion. Even during the dip, the engagement was unreal. And that's why the Wolfpack exists. Crypto is lonely when you're on your own. When you're trying to figure out entries, exits, managing fear, managing risk, and no one around you who understands crypto at all. But inside the pack, you're surrounded by people who get it, who trade, who analyze charts, people who want to level up. So shout out to every single one of you in the Wolfpack. You guys smashed it this week. And for anyone watching this video who isn't in the Wolfpack, let me tell you something really important. There is a completely free crypto course called the Crypto Liftoff. No membership required, no payment, no catch. Just click the link and start learning. The link is in the description below. And it teaches you real strategies, real risk management, how I survived bear markets, how I built my portfolio, and how I avoid the mistakes that 99% of investors make, how I stopped guessing, how I stopped relying on hype, and how to trade with structure. These are the exact strategies that I use, not theory. If you're losing money because you're panic buying, if you're getting liquidated because you don't know how to manage risk, if you're confused by the charts, this course will fix all of that. And again, it's completely free. The link is in the description below the video. So what does today's market actually mean? It means three things. Firstly, fear is high. Therefore, opportunity is high. When everybody else is fearful, that's where strategies thrive. The second is Bitcoin is showing early signs of a reversal. It's not guaranteed, but behaviorally consistent with accumulation. And XRP is performing better than most of the market. Strength during fear is one of the most bullish signals you can ever see, and something we have never seen from XRP in previous years. These aren't guesses, these aren't predictions. It's just reading behavior, because markets are not random, markets are emotional. And if you learn how to read emotion, you learn how to trade. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Extreme fear is where opportunity is born. Flattening charts are where reversals begin. Discipline is where success comes from. I added to my Bitcoin this morning. I added to my XRP, and I added earlier this week as well. Not because I was hyped, not because I was guessing, not because somebody tweeted something bullish, but because I have a strategy and I follow it. If you want to learn the strategies that I use, if you want to learn how to take emotion out of this game, and you want to start doing it properly, get into the crypto liftoff course, or come and jump into the wolf pack if you want to go all in. Surround yourself with the right community. And as always, stay sharp, stay focused. I'll see you on the next one. And remember this, the strength of the wolf is in the pack.